Okay, this video is for Math 120. This is Chapter 6 material. I've been asked to go over the area under the curve and the uniform distribution. There's two types of distribution in Chapter 6. One is called uniform distribution, and the uniform distribution has no variation. It pretty much is like a box, and the area under the uniform and the uniform distribution is 1.0000. Now, the reason I write 4 digits is because I like to tell students that when you're given 4 decimal places, you're talking about area. Area in Chapter 6 is the same as probability. And so when I tell students they see 4 decimal places, and you're going to see it in your homework and your test, when you see 4 decimal places, you're talking about area slash probability. 2 decimal places, you're talking about z-score. And that's kind of a way to keep it separated. Now, with the uniform distribution, you're not going to see the z-score or the you're not going to be using the z-scores because you're going to be using the actual setup of the question. Let's say that a teacher meets every day in a classroom, and he or she usually cuts off class between 50 or 60 minutes, between 50 and 60 minutes. So that would be 50 here and 60 here, and we know that this distance is 10. And we know the area is 1 is equal to length times width. 1 is equal to 10 times the width, and 1/10 is equal to W. So this this width is 1/10, and that's how you find the length and the width. Now, they'll say, what is the probability of the professor or teacher stopping at 55 minutes? So then you would want to find this area right here, stopping at 55 minutes. And that would be, the distance is 5, and the height is 1/10, so that would be 5 times 1/10, which is 5 over 10, which is equal to 0.5. So the probability of the teacher stopping at 55 minutes is 0.5. Now, uniform distribution is pretty simple. It's 2 parts. One, you find the height or the width. I'm going to put height or width right here. And once you find that, they will give you a second part, which is usually what if, or what is the probability, and they will give you that right there. And uniform distribution, you're probably talking about 20% of your questions will be uniform distribution. Most of your questions will be in the form of normal distribution. And normal distribution looks like the bell curve, and it uses z-scores, where the middle is the mean, and you use your z-scores. Mean is equal to 0, and 1, 2, -1, -2. So that's what your normal distribution, and the area under the curve is 1.0000. Now remember, when you're talking about 2 decimal places, you're talking about a z-score. When you're talking about 4 decimal places, you're talking about an area or a probability. Now, you're also going to be using the z-table. Now, the way that the z-table works is when you pull up a z-table in your book. I don't have one with me right now. You're going to be given the table looks something like this, and you're going to have 0.00, 0.01, 0.02, all the way up to 0.09. You're going to have you're going to have values over here that start at 0 and go to 2.5 or 2.99. I'll just start from here: 0, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, oops, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, 1.0, 1.1, 1.2, and so on. And it usually goes to 2.99 or 2.5. I'm going to just say 2.5. I don't have one in front of me right now. And all these values is going to go right here, right like so. And so on. These values right here and these values combine to give you your z-score. Alright, so if I want 0.15 z-score, well, that would be 0.1 and then go over to 0.03, 0.4, 0.5, and then you would find the area that corresponds to 0.15. A dime plus 5 cents is 0.15, 15 cents, and that's how you read it. Now these blocks right here are going to be 4 decimal places. So what does 4 decimal places mean? That means it's a z-score. I mean a probability. So the body in here is your probability because it's usually 4 digits, 4 place values. And here's your 2 decimal places, and that is z-score. So, and you can also do it with technology also. So, let's see what we can do now.